This whole region, the east of Austria and the west of Slovakia, from history is one of the biodiversity hotspots in Europe. A lot of different species here, but tendencies, unfortunately, in the last years were negative. With our grazing project, we show that it is possible to make a turnaround. I think this is a typical showcase of what we can do to restore nature again, and you see it works.
Science is undeniable. We are facing the consequences of climate change, such as the floods and droughts, heat waves happening in Europe, and this will increase with the time. Nature restoration is a solution that can help us adapt and mitigate these extreme weather events, and without actually taking care of nature, without helping nature to bounce back, to restore nature, we will not have this.
Many people think that Europe used to be one big forest until 1000 or 2000 years ago. This was not at all the case. It used to be probably a half-open landscape with patches of forest, with large herds of grazing animals, wild horses, wild cows. This reintroducing of grazing in a nature area was a very important measure to turn this negative biodiversity trend into something positive. So 2.5 times difference, oaks profiting from grazing compared to fields where grass is only mown. The hotel bookings here are getting more and more and more. A negative tendency turned again.
What we see now is that the law really is under pressure from the European People's Party especially. And they're really doing fear-mongering. The nature restoration law would harm our food security in Europe, while it's actually the opposite. We need intact nature, we need healthy soils, we need pollinators to be able to produce food.
How much biodiversity can we lose before we start suffering ourselves? I don't know, but I do not want to try, to be honest.
River restoration is quite important because we have nearly no natural rivers in Europe. We have a very wonderful situation here, yes? There's 2 organizations in charge for the whole area, the Via Donau for the Danube and the National Park for the floodplains. Both organizations have it in their laws to take care on the other. So the Via Donau has to take care on the ecological situation, and the National Park has to accept navigation. And if both organizations cooperate, then they can be very effective and very efficient for nature development.
We also do a lot of restoration measures in other stretches of the Danube or on other rivers. Maybe such a law could help us to make this whole process getting more easier.
Climate is changing so quickly. Things that were very common 10 years ago are not happening anymore, like these spring floodings because of snow melt. It's going much faster than I was expecting.
There is no Green Deal without the nature restoration law. If we want to reach our climate targets, if we want to fulfill our international commitments, we need to have the nature restoration law.